I decided at the beginning of summer that I wanted to go ahead and start doing some home improvements to my house, as I've lived here for, a couple of years by now. So the first thing I did is bought some curtain rods, the sheer curtains and those lovely green curtains, and hung them up in my living room and office. Then come 4th of July weekend, I got a wild hair up my you-know-what and decided to take my bathroom and turn it into something like this. So first things first, let's go to the Home Depot and get the supplies we need to paint the house. Of course, it wasn't a super bright sunny day. It was a little bit gloomy, but here I am just heading into the Home Depot, grabbing some plants that fit the inspo pick, then deciding between all of the green paint colors. And since when did paintbrushes get so expensive? When was that a thing? When did that happen? We're doing something fun today. We're tackling the bathroom. I've been in this house for 2.5 years and I'm tired of the contractor white, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started by cleaning up. I'd been pretty busy the days prior to this, so my bathroom was a little bit in a state of disarray, so I decided to go ahead and film me cleaning things up and taking all the hardware off the wall. I'm also going to be removing this and replacing it so it won't go back in the same place, because when you hang the towel up, it covers the outlet, and my face there was just saying, why do you need a screw that long for a simple towel bar? And then here, I'm just trying to get the mount out of the wall, the drywall anchor. And again, I don't know why they need something this hefty for a simple towel bar when all it is just a little hand towel. So I go in and get a different kind of tool to see if I can wedge underneath it. At this point, I don't have any spackle, so I'm trying really hard not to damage the drywall. What even is that? Then I move on to the towel bar that hangs by the shower, and with the second anchor, it ends up being stripped out. So I take a little bit of frustration and eventually get it out of the wall. I've got my painting shirt on and we've got the paint in the tray. We're gonna start right here. Okay, it looks kind of not quite what I wanted on camera, but we'll have to wait till it dries down to see. So I've got this little dog gate up so Marauder can't come help me, and then I just brought in my stool so I can reach the top portions. I also bought a brush to do all along the ceiling line. Of course, it wouldn't be a Sam renovation video if I didn't stop filming the entire process. So I just have this wall here that you'll see me paint, and then the view will switch just a moment over to painting over the mirror. And then I finish the bathroom off camera. I think just because I get so much into the groove of it that I forget to move the camera and turn it back on. But I really like how the bathroom ended up coming out. I ended up buying some black macrame plant hangers off of Amazon to put some plants around to match the vibe of that inspo pick there in the beginning. And then I also eventually go to Target after a couple weeks of using a gray set that I had and bought some dark green towels and a rug, but I just wasn't liking the vibe. It ended up being too monochrome. So I'm still on the hunt for something to make this bathroom feel more jungly towel-wise and rug-wise. So if you guys have any recommendations, please leave them in the comments below and let me know. I couldn't just stop in my bathroom. Of course, I got the wild hair even farther up my you-know-what to go ahead and paint the rest of my house. I went back to the Home Depot and got a whole bunch of sample paints of what I thought I would like in my house and threw them up all over the house in the different lighting situations to see, waited overnight, and then by the next morning I decided what color I wanted, and the color choice is the bottom left. The color is Bali Sand by Bear. I was pretty impulsive on this decision, and to this day, I believe now we're almost 2 months later, I do not regret my decision whatsoever. Also, just a heads up, if you go to the Home Depot and order 5 gallons of paint, they will give you a monstrous thing of paint that I could barely carry. So I said, hey guys, I'm so sorry, but can I get 5 1-gallon paint cans? And so they ended up up remaking it for me, and I got to town. So I went ahead and started by painting with the roller, then would go back in with the paintbrush and just started in the little hallway by my office, then made my way out into my living room, and then went to the little alcove by my master bathroom. I have this really cool gate thing that I bought for my garage. So when I'm working in the garage and want to crack the garage door, I can put that gate up so the dogs don't escape out the front. So that was really helpful with blocking off the dogs from the section of my house that I was painting. And I did have a box fan to help move the air around so we weren't all breathing paint fumes, though I think by the end of it we were all a little woozy from all of the paint. Quick doggy break, doggy snuggles, doggy cuddles. And the dogs were such troopers, with the house being in a perpetual state of where is this now with all the rearranging and such. Then after I did the main living space, I moved into the kitchen a little bit, and I left that chunk for a little bit later when I would have more time. Basically, I was painting before work hours, on lunch, after work hours, and even on the weekends. So I actually did not end up videoing anything really. I ended up just taking pictures along the way, and here we are doing a voiceover 2 months later. So this pretty much ends the hey, here's the progress pics so far of my house, and then we will get into moving the couch to do that back wall, taking down the curtains that I had hung just a month prior. I actually had quite a good time painting my house. It was really therapeutic, pretty cathartic. I was definitely missing my dad a lot. And so I was just not burying my feelings, but turning the sad into something productive. Then let's talk about this thermostat. So Amazon Prime Day came and went. I bought a smart Ecobee thermostat. And because my dad is an electrician, he taught me all the things to do. So you make sure your power is off, don't touch any of the wires, make sure the wires don't touch each other. So here I am just covering up the white area, and then I got everything all wired up and it did not work. So I don't know what happened. So I took off the Ecobee thermostat, reinstalled the Honeywell that I had, and it wasn't working. So then I called Ecobee to try to get their help, and she was having me touch all kinds of wires. So I called locally here, Lincoln Heating and Air. A guy came out, was able to refix a fuse that had blown at some point. A couple of the wires must have touched. I am so thankful for Lincoln Heating and Air's quick response time. That way my poor dogs wouldn't have had to suffer through the summer heat, because again, this was still July that I was doing the project. And then because I had extra gallons of paint, I decided to move on to painting my laundry room and the little linen closet that is next to it, the same Bali Sand color. So I went ahead and moved most of the things out of the laundry room, took down all of the things I had hanging on the wall. I would say the trickiest part was getting around that tankless water heater that I have, because I did not know how to safely disconnect it from the walls. So it's not the greatest paint job behind it, but you know what? It is done, and I love the way my house looks, the laundry room, the linen closet, and I even went in and painted in my coat closet as well. And because I didn't film a lot, there's not a lot for bloopers, so here you go with 2 quick clips for bloopers. And try to make this house more homely. Not homely as in like not pretty, but homely as in like home-like. As usual, thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!